The Epidemic of Sexual Assault on College Campuses by Jamie Cook, Kirsten Thurman, Tamron Ross, Asia Owens, and Donovan Ford. Today, we will talk about the epidemic of sexual assault on college campuses. We will make 5 points. First, one of the most disquieting dangers young adults face today is the risk of sexual assault. Second, there are unwarranted stigmas surrounding victims of sexual assault. Third, many victims of sexual assault are scared to report their assault due to feelings of shame, fear of retaliation, and lack of trust in school officials or police. Fourth, victims will likely face depression and/or PTSD following their assault. And lastly, our goal is to raise awareness about the rising epidemic of sexual assault and to educate our classmates about prevention. One of the most disquieting dangers young adults face today is the risk of sexual assault. The World Health Organization defines sexual violence as any sexual act or an attempt to obtain a sexual act, unwanted sexual comments or advances, acts to traffic or otherwise directed against a person's sexuality using coercion by any person, regardless of the relationship to the victim in any setting. The White House Task Force to Protect Students from Sexual Assault released their first report in April 2014, leading with a chilling statistic. 1 in 5 college students experiences sexual assault during their college career. They also found that women ages 18 to 24 are at an elevated risk of sexual violence.
There are unwanted stigmas surrounding victims of sexual assault. Victims of sexual assault face the danger of suffering negative reactions upon disclosing their trauma, the most traumatizing of which includes being blamed for the assault. Studies have indicated a relationship between high levels of gender stereotyping and high levels of victim blame. As Nation contributor and co-editor of the anthology Yes Means Yes, Jessica Valenti explains rape is a standard result of culture mired in mixology, but for whatever reason, denial, self-preservation, sexism, America's bent over backwards to make excuses for male violence. An article from the New York Times regarding the gang rape of an 11-year-old girl suggests that she might be to blame for what happened to her. What message did they send to their readers when they reinforced stigmas by stating about the little girl's appearance and behavior, such as she dressed older than her age, wearing makeup and fashion, and would hang out with teenage boys at the playground? Or by reporting the disbelieving local questions. How could their young men have been drawn into such an act? What did they think would happen? What did they think would be the impact of the horrendous rape on the life? They printed the quote, "These boys have to deal with this for the rest of their life." The story dealt with a hideous crime, but addressed concerns about the ruin about the ruined lives of the perpetrators without acknowledging concern. Slut Walk is an event created by Amber Rose. This event is a transnational movement of a protest marching calling for an end to rape culture and slut shaming. Specifically, participants protest against excusing rape by referring to any aspect of a woman's appearance.
There are some reasons why victims of sexual assault may choose not to report their assault. Some of those reasons are shame, fear of retaliation, and lack of trust in school officials or police. What's important when someone is reporting a sexual assault is to make them like their feelings and the action taken against them are serious and that their feelings about those actions are validated. Other reasons that a person might not report their sexual assault is because they might be afraid of how others will perceive them after they report it. A lot of that can be shame, humiliation. A lot of people just don't want to go through those types of feelings. When it comes to lack of trust in the criminal justice system, a lot of times rape cases are just brushed under the rug because people believe that victims of sexual assault are just usually lie about them. And also, in a lot of times, they just don't want to risk the chances of police not believing their story about what happened to them. Another important reason why they don't report them is because they might know the person who assaulted them. Usually, if they know the person, they see them almost every day in their lives, and they fear that if they report them, that could have serious consequences when it comes to the person who assaulted them. Of campus rapes, only 7% were reported to any school official, and 4% were reported to law enforcement. This is an important thing to notice because when it comes to sexual assault on college campuses, a lot of them are not taken super seriously because of the school's reputation. A lot of schools are known for their sports and athletes and things like that, and if they are the ones that are being accused of these sexual assaults, campuses will not want to take these cases to official law enforcement, and a lot of these are held internally in the school. An example of this would be the case with Brock Turner, who went to Stanford. He was on the swim team, and he allegedly raped a girl outside a dumpster and left her. But officials were more worried about his future than the girl that he assaulted. And because of this, he only went to jail for 3 months out of the 6 months of his sentence. And he got off really easily for someone who did such an act to somebody else. And because of cases like this, women often don't see the point in reporting their assault to campus police or school officials because they feel like if the perpetrator would not serve adequate time, what would be the point of reporting him in the first place?
Rape survivors who speak out about their assault experiences are often subjected to negative reactions from support providers. These negative reactions may serve as a silencing function, leading some rape survivors to stop talking about their experiences to anyone at all. Victims will likely face depression, PTSD, and or other disorders following their assault. PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, is defined as an anxiety disorder triggered by a traumatic event. Many victims of sexual assault report being afraid all the time, anxious, and have difficulty functioning like normal, which are all common symptoms of PTSD. Three main symptoms of the disorder are re-experiencing, which is having flashbacks, dreams, or even daydreams of the event. Avoidance, meaning avoiding any discussion or topic related to the traumatic event. And hyperarousal, which is basically being constantly on edge every day of every minute. Depression is a mood disorder that involves prolonged feelings of sadness and helplessness. Other symptoms of depression include tiredness, loss of interest, significant weight loss or gain, unexplained crying, and in extreme cases, thoughts of suicide or self-harm. Depression is a serious medical condition and isn't something one can jump back from or snap out of. Depression can last for months or years, or it may never go away and is something the victim might have to live with for the rest of their life. Dissociation is when someone feels like they are not present in their own lives. Symptoms include daydreaming constantly, a blurred sense of identity, inability to function in reality, and not able to focus on everyday tasks. Dissociation is a defense mechanism commonly experienced by trauma victims, which allows them to avoid thinking about their assault. While PTSD, depression, and dissociation are three common side effects of sexual assault, victims also may have feelings of anger, distrust, being unsafe, and also participate in serious substance abuse such as drugs or alcohol, or both. And in most extreme cases, as mentioned before, they can also participate in self-harm, which can lead to death. We can be the generation that brings sexual assault to an end. There are many ways we can take action and lead the way to prevention. SAVE, SAVE, means Sexual Assault and Violence Education. Columbus State University has a SAVE task force that is determined to increase the level of awareness of sexual violence and provides programs that inform members of the campus community about sexual assault, risk factors, and risk reduction measures. SAVE invites all members of the university to be proactive in working to end sexual violence. To find out more information, visit the SAVE information page on the Columbus State University school website. It is radical and necessary to believe survivors, as stated by Sarah Ogden Trotta, a licensed psychotherapist. We have absolutely nothing to lose by believing a survivor's words, and a survivor has everything to gain through the experience of feeling trusted and validated. Even if the details seem confusing, we must stand firm in knowing that their account of sexual assault is rooted in truth. Basically, if someone comes to you claiming to be a victim of sexual assault, take the time to listen to their words and be understanding and believe full-heartedly what they say. Practice affirmative consent. Yes means yes. Affirmative consent is a knowing, voluntary, and mutual decision among all participants to engage in sexual activity. Consent can be given by words or actions as long as those words or actions create clear permission regarding willingness to engage in the sexual activity. Silence or lack of resistance, in and of itself, does not demonstrate consent. The definition of consent does not vary based upon a participant's sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. In layman's terms, if the person says yes, and they are full-heartedly agreeing, then it means yes. If they say no, then they mean no. And even if they change their mind from a yes to a no, it still means no. This concludes our presentation of the epidemic of sexual assault on college campuses. We thank you for watching, and we hope you learned a great deal that you can take away from all of this. Again, we thank you, and have a wonderful day.